Have you ever walked into a bookstore and found more than just a book? This is a story of two strangers who were searching for pages and found each other instead. Hello and welcome to today's English listening story. This is a beautiful and emotional love story between Emily and James. It is told in simple English so you can enjoy listening and improve your English speaking and understanding. Just relax, listen carefully, and try to repeat or shadow the sentences to improve your fluency. Emily lived in a small town, full of peaceful streets and old trees. She was 26 years old and worked as a librarian in a cozy bookshop on Rose Avenue. Her life was simple. Every morning, she made tea, arranged books, and enjoyed her quiet world. Emily loved stories more than anything. Books were her friends, but sometimes, when the shop was empty, she felt a small loneliness in her heart. She smiled at customers, helped them find books, and then returned to her silent desk. She often dreamed of someone who would understand her love for words, someone who would sit beside her, not talk too much, just read and be present. James had just moved to the same town after spending 5 years in the city. He was 28, a writer trying to finish his first novel. The city life had tired him. He needed peace, quiet, and inspiration. He rented a small house near the hills and walked into town every morning. One day, he saw the bookshop. It had warm lights and the smell of old pages. He stepped inside, not knowing his life was about to change. Emily was arranging books in the romance section. She noticed a new face. James had kind eyes and a calm presence. He walked slowly, touching the spines of books like they were precious. James noticed her too, the soft expression, the neat desk, the little cup of tea beside her. He felt a strange comfort in that room, something he had not felt in years. Emily helped him find a novel. Their hands touched slightly. No words were said, but something gentle began between them. Days turned into weeks. James visited the shop every day. He would read for hours, sometimes take notes, sometimes just look out the window. Emily noticed his habits, how he smiled when reading something good, how he sat near the window where the light was soft, how he always picked books with handwritten notes inside. She started placing books on the table that she thought he would like. He always read them. Slowly, the space between them became filled with unspoken understanding. One rainy afternoon, the shop was empty. James sat quietly, reading a poetry book Emily had placed near his seat. Raindrops touched the windows, and the shop was filled with a warm silence. At that moment, he looked up and saw her watching the rain. She wasn't smiling. She looked thoughtful, distant. He realized then he had not just found peace in the town. He had found a feeling, a person, a presence that made him feel whole. Emily, at the same time, felt a warmth in her heart. James was no longer just a customer. He was a part of her quiet world now. One morning, James placed a small notebook on Emily's desk. Inside were lines from all the books she had given him, and at the end, a small note saying, "Thank you for helping me write again." Emily read it when he had left. Her eyes filled with tears. No one had ever thanked her like that. It wasn't just a thank you, it was something deeper. That night, she kept the notebook under her pillow and smiled in the dark. For 2 days, James didn't come to the bookshop. Emily tried to stay calm, but her heart felt uneasy. She realized how much his presence meant to her now. On the 3rd day, he returned. He looked tired but smiled gently. He had been writing, finishing his novel. The last chapter was about a girl in a bookshop. Emily didn't speak, but her eyes were bright. He handed her a copy of the first printed page. It said, "This story is dedicated to the quiet girl with stories in her eyes." From that day, things changed gently. They started walking together after the shop closed, talking softly about books, dreams, and life. They didn't need many words. Their connection was built on silence, kindness, and time. James became a published writer. Emily remained in the bookshop. But now, the empty chair beside her was never empty. Thank you for listening to the beautiful love story of Emily and James. A story not told in words, but in feelings, books, and quiet moments. This story was shared in simple English to help you improve your listening and speaking. If you enjoyed it, listen again. Try to shadow the narrator and let the story become part of your English journey. Remember, sometimes love doesn't arrive with big words. It comes quietly, like a page turning in a peaceful bookshop. If you like this video, please like and subscribe this channel. Also share to this video with your friends. Tell in comment what type of story you want in next video.